Galimera, Galimera, Galimera. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I thought I'd do my broadcast indoors today rather than outdoors for two reasons. One, Jane has gone on her walk, and the other is our little kitten and our other young cat are in a very, very rambunctious mood this morning, and they're chasing each other and up to all sorts of mischief. So you hear any screeches and scrolls and funny noises, it's them just playing rather aggressively with each other as they're finding their way. Also, as well, I'm a bit early this morning simply because I've got a busy day today, and the earlier I get this done, the quicker I can get on. I've got to take my bike into town for some work to be done on it. Anyway, let's have a quick look at this morning then. This morning's weather, according to Amanda, she says, morning, Ginge. Sunny and warm today, highs of 26, but it will feel like 30. Having a beach day today. Enjoy your day. Will you enjoy your day on the beach, my lovely? Enjoy it while you can. Right, as for arrivals, quite a busy day at the airport today. We've got one flight in from, I think that's Brussels. We have a flight in from two flights in from Prague. We also have a flight in with TUI from Corfu. We've also got a flight in from Italy from Venice. We also have two flights actually, one in from Kalamata, all right, and I think that's a drop-off flight. People are coming down from Kalamata after being dropped off there, so it's originally probably started in Poland. We also have another one of those type of flights. This one is from Corfu as well, arriving today, as well as 1, 2, 3 flights in from Athens through the day as well. But interestingly, we were supposed to have had a Wizz Air flight in today, and that should have arrived at 11:55 this morning. However, that flight has now been cancelled. So the Wizz Air flight that was on the agenda to come has been cancelled. Jane was at the airport last night to meet guests from Holland, and guess what? They didn't show up. Now, Jane thinks maybe what happened is they might have decided that they were going to make their own way to their accommodation or whatever. But anyway, she was at the airport. She said they didn't turn up. The airport wasn't very busy yesterday. And she said it was quite quiet down there yesterday evening while waiting for the arrival of the Dutch. So anyway, that's going to figure in one of my stories today. Anyway, the arrivals of British people coming, etc. Again, still no word on those flights that did come in from the UK as to how many people were actually on them. Right, let's have a quick look at COVID in the last 24 hours then. Well, it's a bit of a what I call a bouncing scenario. It's going up and down a bit. New infections recorded yesterday, they were up on the day before. The day before we'd reported 580. Well, yesterday it was 808 new infections across the country, bringing the grand total at the moment to 410,166. There were 3 new cases identified into the country. That was down on the day before, where we had 4. Now, according to the national statistics, there were no new cases recorded in Macardo. There was no cases in Kefalonia. There were 10 cases recorded in Corfu, and Zakynthos on the national stats had none recorded, and there looks like there's been none recorded locally as well, so maybe our stats have now played catch up. When it comes to deaths at the moment, believe it or not, deaths are stable. Yesterday I reported 24 new deaths, and today I can report again 24 new deaths, bringing the death toll up to 12,301. The average age of those people passing away has been 79 years of age. 96.4% of those people had underlying health problems or were over the ages of 70. And once again, our condolences to those people who have lost their family members at this time. When it comes to hospitalizations at the moment, they're actually down as well. Critical cases across the country, I reported to you yesterday, was 398. That's down to 392. 249 are male and 143 of those are female. The average age of people in critical cases is about 68 years of age, and 83% of those have underlying health issues are over the age of 70. Right. The news today then, the platform for scheduling COVID-19 vaccinations for the age group 25 to 29, it was announced last night that that platform would be opening on Thursday. All right. So if you're in that age bracket and you want to have the jab, Thursday is the day to go online or go and see your pharmacist and book your appointment. Now, this age group is slated to receive the single shot Johnson & Johnson vaccine, or they may get the 2-shot Pfizer and the Madeira jab as well. The General Secretary for Primary Healthcare, Marios Theramachus, said, confirming that the AstraZeneca vaccine has been taken off the table for this contingent as there were concerns about clotting. So it looks like they've taken the AstraZeneca off for the age group 25 to 29 because there has been cases of clotting here in Greece. In fact, we had 5 cases of it, and we also had a couple of deaths, if I remember rightly off the top of my head. Anyway, the minister also said with some 6.2 million vaccinations having been administered so far, with around 4 million residents having received at least 1 shot. Now, according to official figures, in the 85 plus and the 80 to 84 age groups, which face the biggest difficulties in getting to vaccination centres, the take-up rate for this group stands at about 67.5% and also 68% for the 80 to 84 group. Anyway, taking up its strongest at the moment, the people who are going for it the most are the 75 to 79-year-old age group and the 70 to 74 category, who are taking up the vaccine at 79% and 73% respectively, followed by the 65 to 69 age group with 72%, but not so in the 60 to 64 age group, that's me, where the take-up is still sluggish at 66%. Anyway, the Greek government is also saying that around half of the people in their 50s have received a shot so far, with the 40s age group forging ahead from a start of 39% for the 45 to 49s and a 33% for the 40 to 44s respectively. Anyway, a quarter of people aged 35 to 39 and just a fifth of those aged 30 to 34 have received a vaccination. Speaking at the briefing at the head of the National Vaccination Committee, Miria Theodoulou said that 90% of people being admitted to the country's COVID-19 clinics have not been vaccinated. She says, we all have responsibility for this. She said, we can all contribute to convincing someone to get vaccinated. Well, at the moment, I'm still not getting the vaccination at the moment. I'm going to hang out and just take my time and rely on my immune system at the moment, which seems to be doing all right for me at my age. Anyway, this is a very serious story now that's just come up again. According to a report released by Hospital Workers Union Puden on Thursday, a Greek hospital ICU mortality rate is almost 100%. The Agrinio Hospital, which is in Western Greece on the Peloponnesa area, has an ICU with a 5-bed capacity, which has been treating severe COVID-19 cases since October 2020. Now, the Peden figures attest to 35 out of 40 of the total of the ICU patients that were admitted to the hospital had actually passed away while receiving treatment at that hospital. However, the Greek hospital's ICU scandal deepened over the course of last week. Media reports on Friday said that a total of 41 patients which had been hospitalized in the COVID ICU of the hospital, 40 had passed away, with the most recent tragic event happening on the very morning that they started to release the numbers. Anyway, this information brings the Agrinio Hospital's mortality rate close to 100% in their coronavirus ICU wing. The scandal has led to the forced resignation of the hospital's president. Unfortunately, the hospital was also receiving patients transferred from other areas for COVID-19 intensive care, so they were taking people from outside their location. The Greek government has decided to intervene in the issue, with moves so far focusing on the disgraced hospital president. Now, the Deputy Health Minister, Vasilis Kontsamanis, warned the Agrilia Hospital president on Saturday that he would be removed from his post if he had not resigned by Monday. Anyway, the New Democracy MP, Maria Salmas, who had visited the Agrilia Hospital on Saturday, accused the president of negligence and ignorance, alleging that in response to the queries about the issues in the ICU, the main retort was that he was just an accountant. Where have I heard that before in the UK? People running the hospitals are accountants, bean counters, money men, basically, and not doctors and not professionals who understand healthcare. So anyway, it seems it goes on here in Greece as well as in the UK. Salamis also claimed that a criminal investigation may be launched by the Agrinio's prosecutor's office. He said, "We will see what has happened. We'll evaluate the situation, but emphasize it again. This must be a restart for the hospital of Agrinio. Do not sow panic and fear in the world." So again, that's just one hospital, all right? Anyway, our fellow citizens, this is the politician talking now, our fellow citizens must feel safe because of all units of the national health system provide adequate health services. We need a beginning, said Konsumanis of the Greek hospital ICU conditions. We need a new beginning for the hospital ICU conditions. Now, this is a wider issue at hand, actually. This is something that's come out of this. Despite the government claiming that all the fault lies with the president of the Agrinio Hospital, other healthcare workers and much of the media are convinced the horrific statistics from the ICU wing have more to do with systemic issues. That means the way that the hospitals are run. Anyway, Padinian, the union, the original whistleblower for the issue, attributes the high mortality rates in the ICUs of many hospitals in the country to the systematic issues present in the underfunded national health system. The Hospital Workers Union alleged that the pandemic has meant ICUs are operating with fewer staff than essential, and they must therefore improvise in order to meet the increased need. Now, the president of Pademian, Mikhail Gyrigonis, has pointed out that other Greek hospitals with abhorrent conditions exist in other ICUs. He said he underlined that the ICUs in Greek city of Edison was makeshift but has 6 beds. Their mortality rate is also 100%, according to the Pademian president. Many factors which could likely be rectified have led to this unnecessary and disproportional loss of life, according to Grigoris. Anyway, the number of people hospitalized at once in coronavirus wards, the timely incubations of patients before the condition is irreversible, the timely delivery to ICUs without the need to sit on an endless waiting list, the choice of patients for ICU admissions using the age criteria, the option to stay in the ICU after the incubation for follow-up are some of the ways which the National Health Service should improve the mortality rates, according to Guillermos. Anyway, the president of Padimian also advocated for the president of the Agrinio Hospital in admitting that the responsibilities for the failures there lie elsewhere. He stated that the ICU repeatedly requested specialized staff to improve conditions, but the only 2 assistant doctors and some less needed nursing staff was transferred there. So there you go. Looks like the creaking in the Greek health service is akin to some of the creaking that's been going on in the UK health service. And again, I'm not sure what the mortality rate is in our hospital here in Zakynthos, but I've got a feeling maybe things are in better shape here in Zakynthos Hospital than maybe they are in some of the other hospitals on the mainland. But at the moment, we've only had 4 deaths last month. This whole year, I think we've had, off the top of my head again, this year, I think we've had about 9 deaths We've had no deaths this month so far, but last month we definitely had 4 deaths. The months before we had 3 deaths. The months before that we had 4 deaths. So again, our mortality rate in our hospital, I think, is not overly high at the moment with people going into the ICU. But anyway, we'll wait and see what the fallout of this is. We'll wait and see whether there are any reports about comparisons between the rates of here and also the rates with other locations within Greece. And I think this is an unfolding story at the moment, showing up the inadequacies of the Greek health service at the moment, which people have talked about for years and years and years. And I think this pandemic has just highlighted those inadequacies. But again, it's not a time to panic. Our infection rate is low here. At the moment, we're not even sure how many people are in the ICUs, at the ICU here at the moment. We'll wait and see how that plans out. Anyway, I saw some messages that have been coming up, and this is one of the reasons this next story is here. This is a local story with bated breath and exhausted the limits of their patience. Workers and entrepreneurs in tourism are following the developments from Great Britain, realizing that they forecast for the opening of this market is risky. Anyway, this is a local story here in the Hermes newspaper. Reference the situation now with the Brits not coming at the moment, and the feelings of the hoteliers at the moment. Anyway, the negative sentiment confirmed the decision of Jet2 to postpone the launching program to the 1st of July and not in late June as originally announced. The majority of European short-haul destinations, which make up the bulk of Jet2 holiday products, remain in the orange, meaning that passengers returning to the UK from an orange destination must remain in a 10-day quarantine at home. Now, speaking to Hermes Radio, hotelier Mr. Manfredas, who has mentioned he is also not opened his hotel yet, commented on the latest developments, emphasizing the need for Zakynthos to take a lesson from this adventure and not to make openings in other tourist markets. He said, "We are living in unprecedented and very difficult conditions in tourism, and especially in terms of the British market. There is a chill from the official announcements. But I personally think that through all this, we are learning a good lesson to stop being dependent on the British market. It is definitely and remains a very important market for our island. In the past, at a level of the municipality, we had made many efforts to attract this market, but now we have to make openings in other markets," he said. Mr. Manfredas emphasizing that the municipality of Zakynthos must plan a tourist promotion and realize that tourism is what supports the economy of the island. In recent years, we have been in autopilot. There is no planning and the tourism committee is not even functioning, he said. One day we are told that we will open on the 5th of the month, the next, the 11th, and now we are learning about July, he said, conveying the anguish of businessmen to our island as well. The British we welcomed 10 years ago have nothing to do with the British we welcome now in terms of money they will waste. Anyway, all-inclusive entered our lives, and this was something that companies impose, said Mr. Manfredos, who turned his criticism again to the local government, noting that the planning that had begun with the assistance of Mr. Kaloris, he was, I think, the vice mayor from a long time ago. I remember interviewing him, a really nice, very smart guy. All of that was abandoned, he said. The transferring the image that exists today in the area of Planos, he said, which is Silavi Way, he started that only some family businesses have opened, but they do not hire staff. Anyway, we have had to understand that we have to open up to the market as well. Today, only the Polish are holding us, he stressed, commenting that the cancellation come one after the other since the British want to come to Zakynthos but cannot. while thinking about quarantine and tests. The year started, he said, with high expectations, but Mr. Manfredis noted that unfortunately they were not confirmed. Many tourism companies remain closed in the room of rented rooms, with the president of the Federation, Andreas Konitis, noting that everyone is waiting for the developments from the British market, optimising for the best. In Argasi, he said, we have mainly Dutch and Romanians. I didn't realise there were Romanians here. Few hotels have already started operating. We hope that Zakynthos will persist. The green will persist into the green destinations and open earlier. He said, among other things, emphasising the need to comply with health protocols. So there you go. The hoteliers now, and just one thing that's probably not made very clear in that article, Mr. Manfredis is, I think, in charge of the Hoteliers Association here on Zakynthos. So at the moment, he's basically saying it's maybe time now for Zakynthos to start changing its approach to where its markets lie now because of what's gone on in the UK, not just through the COVID, but also as well Brexit to a degree. It might be a time for a change of plan and start looking towards the customers that are already arriving here on the island and do more business with them, and also look at the British as being a nice little bonus if they turn up. And what's more, it's not the fault of the British tourist itself. It's the British government, Boris basically sticking us onto the amber or keeping us on amber when, in effect, we could be green. But whatever Boris's plan is, God knows, I don't think he even knows what he's planning at the moment. And we will just have to, again, we'll just have to wait and see. And that's another mantra that seems to be very prevalent in my broadcast. We will wait and see. Anyway, another little bit of good news in some respects. After being closed for more than a year, the Customs Office and Crossing at Mavaranti on the Greek-Albanian border is reopening. Now, it says it's reopening on Monday. Okay, now I'm not sure if that was yesterday or this Monday that's coming up. It's not made very clear in the article. But according to the Epirus Regional Governor, Alexander Chrismos, he's confirming that the border is going to reopen. The crossing, which is an important entryway for travellers from southern Albania, has been closed for almost a year as part of the measures to stem the arrivals during the health crisis. Some restrictions, however, will continue, he said. He told the Greek broadcaster, that the crossing will only be open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and will only allow 250 people a day through that border. Travellers will also be required to show a negative COVID test, proof of full vaccination, or a proof of a recent recovery. And finally, do you want the wacky facts about what's been going on with Greece? Do you know what? I'm going to forget about that because I've noticed there's a lot of comments coming through at the moment. So I'm hoping that I can read these comments. I did see a comment from Dean, from Dino. I'm not sure, I think, if he's leaving the island or staying, but I'm just going to quickly go through the comments. Lisa Kimberley is watching. Nice to see you looking in. Heather Nash says, morning, Dean. Hope to see you and Helen if we get over in September. Cy Grinley in Wendover is watching. John Clifford says, good morning from a beautiful Zakynthos. Are you here, John? Are you here? Are you here? Let me know. It's a yes or no that you're here. Hopefully you have made it. You're probably one of those on that flight yesterday. Mike Glattonley is also tuning in. Lovely to see you here as well. Heather says, good morning from Birmingham. It's nice weather in Birmingham at the moment, amazingly. Wiggy Winstanley, the ambassador for Wigan in Limassol, Cyprus, he's tuning in. Nice to see you, buddy. Also, as well, just to remind you that my Northern Soul show that from yesterday will be going up online onto Mixcloud, so you can catch up on that, Wiggy, which also has an interview from your cousin, Mr. Jeff Winstanley, in the show as well, when he's talking about his experiences of the casino and the work he done in promoting Northern Soul and Wigan and putting Wigan on the map as well. Christine Brown is also watching as well. Again, my thing is playing up again. I know what will happen. As soon as I finish the broadcast, I'll be able to read all your comments, no problem whatsoever. Emma Marku is tuning in. Steve Hinkling says a lovely start to today. Oh, it looks like good weather all over the UK at the moment. I'm just trying to get to this comment that Dean has left me. I'm not sure what's happening there at the moment. I'm really... here you go, sir. Morning, bro. Heading to the cop shop today for my poor prince. The journey is almost complete. Just hope we can actually do some work. Oh, God, this is so annoying. Anyway, it looks like he's not leaving us. He's staying. I was a bit worried he was going, but he's obviously on to the next phase of getting his residency permit, which is when you give your fingerprints and they take your biometric details. And that's the next hurdle to getting the all-important residency card, which now I think has taken on an absolutely immense importance for those people that are living here on the island, because it means you can work without any hassle or fuss. And in some ways, your status now is really of a privileged fact. All right, it's not like the old days when we were part of the European Union and you could come over here and stay for as long as you liked, do what you liked. And basically now with the new rules and regulations in place, it means for the people like myself who've made a commitment to live here, in some ways we should benefit from it. But again, we shall wait and see how things pan out. All we want now is for basically let's get back to work. Let's get Boris to get us off the amber step and put us onto the green, so people like yourselves tuning in at the moment can come and visit the island and enjoy your holiday without having to spend horrendous amounts of money on testing or spend time in quarantine. So anyway, we'll wait and see. Right. I think that's it from me for this morning. I've got a lot on this morning. Thank you for all the support and everything. Yeah. Yes. A big yes, I am here with my beautiful wife, Philippa, as well. Oh, fantastic. So Philippa is here, the legend that is Philippa. Oh, the stories I could tell about the car with the number plate, but I'm not going to go there at the moment. But anyway, lovely to have you here on the island. Big shout out to Doppia John down in Kalamaki. We will catch up, sir. We will catch up. Anyway, that's it from me. I've got things to get on with. Just a quick heads up for tomorrow. I'm going to be doing my reverse broadcast from the house, from Studio One into Magdalena's, and then broadcasting from around the world. I will be collecting little vox pops, hopefully, later today from people in Magdalena's, people who are on their holidays. You can see who's here, who's sitting in your seats, enjoying themselves while you're waiting for Boris to make his bloody mind up over in the UK. And obviously put your requests in, say hello to friends and that are in Magdalena's. Again, we still have our music ban on, so obviously I can't go back to work. We still have restrictions on nobody allowed inside buildings. We still have the 12:30 curfew as well. Although I've got to be honest, they're not really being as strict on it as what they were last year. I think even the police are fed up with it, to be quite honest. But anyway, we still have to be careful. But other than that, yeah. So anyway, that's it from me. You have a great day wherever you are. I'll keep my ear to the ground and I'll get back in touch with you as soon as I hear any more. Ta-ra.